Thanks for coming on.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Just real quick background for people that are watching. Just give a quick rundown of like where you're at right now, what you've been doing, and then we'll kind of dive into your whole story.
Yeah, quick rundown. I'm in the middle of developing a lot of buildings right now throughout the Merrimack Valley, north of Boston. I've been in the real estate business for 20 years, so just been a growth from year one up to this 20-year point, and we're rolling now.
Nice. So you got an interesting story. I remember when you kind of first told me, so I want to dive into it, extract some of the lessons from it. So take me back from when you graduated high school. Did you start, because you were telling me about your landscaping business. When did you start your landscaping business? And was that your first business that you started?
It was. I started my landscape business at 18. I had a pretty large landscape business, plowing business. I ran it for about like 6 years. I worked with a lot of landlords in Lowell, which was great. I learned a lot of knowledge from the landlords, which was helping me today. It was a great business. It was very lucrative. I did very, very well at a young age. It allowed me to get into the real estate business at like 21. I bought 3 properties at 21 because of the landscape business, and at 25 I sold that business, and I sold the real estate. And
Why'd you sell it? Like, why'd you sell both of them?
yeah, I just I really wanted to transition into more real estate, but the market was good at that time. I didn't have a great knowledge of the real estate. I should have held all those buildings. Yeah. I sold them. I made really good money, and in hindsight, it was just all a bad idea. Selling the landscape was probably a bad idea. Selling the real estate was a bad idea. But I was a young kid at the time. I didn't really have any good coaches or mentors that were really guiding me, and I made a bad decision.
How much did you sell the landscaping for?
I think I sold it for like $50,000.
Huh. How much was it making per year?
I was probably making like $150,000 a year at that point.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I was doing very well.
So you didn't go to college.
I was going to UMass Lowell at the time.
So while running the business?
Yeah, I was running the business. I was going to UMass Lowell.
Nice.
I hated UMass Lowell. As far as the school side of it, I enjoyed going there and socializing. It was a nice atmosphere, but I just wanted to work. I knew I just wanted to work, and that's where I'm at today.
So did you graduate?
I did 5 years and I didn't graduate. I have about 6 credits left to graduate. I finished up like 114 credits, so I came up a little short.
So what got you into like trying to run your own business? Because obviously you started at 18. What got you doing that?
Yeah, my grandmother ran her own business from a young age. I saw that my grandmother did really well with their liquor store that was in Lowell, and that just inspired me from a young age to be an entrepreneur and be running my own businesses. I just saw how her life was, and I was like, I'm going to try to have a life like her.
Yeah. So what was it like for you being young, making good money, having real estate? Like, what was going through your head when you were at that age?
It was awesome. I mean, I was super disciplined at that time. I felt really, really good at that point. I always knew I wanted to transition into the real estate business because I knew it was a more lucrative business. I had a good vehicle to get me there, and again, if I had some good mentors and coaches in my life at that point, I probably would have stayed on a better track, and I would have been way ahead of the game. But I was young. I sold those businesses. I traveled. I moved to Florida. I moved to California. I had a lot of good experiences, and then I wound back up in Lowell at like 30 years old, and with nothing,
Really?
What I mean? But experiences. But
how'd you lose it all?
Just living life, traveling, being young, being stupid. But again, I wouldn't trade those experiences. I met some great people in California. I met a lot of people in Florida. I have a second house in Florida now because of the time I spent in Florida. So I wouldn't take back those experiences. They were life experiences. Yeah. If they were different, I would have maybe not had all the experiences I had. So it is what it is. It was a rough go starting over at 30 and getting back on my feet and getting back up and running. But I knew I could do it, and I just stayed the course, man. I just made a plan, and we got back going.
So what'd you do? So first off, the travel. I'm big on traveling too. I think a lot of people should travel more. What do you think you got out of all that travel, seeing the world, getting all those experiences? How do you think it's kind of shaped your mindset and just kind of like where you're at right now?
Yeah, it had a huge impact on my life, the travel. And I was in Florida at the end of the real estate boom, so I caught like a couple years down in Florida during the real estate boom, and it was just opened your eyes that like there's a lot of people doing really really good in this world, and it was great. I mean, that's why I wouldn't change those experiences. It just makes you really think like anything's attainable because there's so many people attaining so much through hard work. And then moving to Laguna, I was out in Laguna Beach, Laguna Niguel, and that was just an incredible world. Same thing. I was a mortgage broker out there, and I'm working with young kids that are buying $1 million homes, and just their mindsets, where they live, the people they were around, the people I was lucky enough to work for and be around. That just completely opened my mindset up to like, again, anything's attainable if you set your goals and work towards them. So it was all good. Yeah.
So when you had to restart, like did you have a plan? Were you like, these are my goals? What kind of got you from there
zero
to here?
Yeah. I mean, 100%. I had to make a plan because I was just like, man, what am I going to do? So, yeah, I mean, I remember the plan I actually made. I actually wrote down the plan, and I was like, I'm not going to get to where I want to go quickly, so let's just work in like 6-month blocks. At that point, I was like, let's just get this stuff taken care of to get to this point, and we'll reconvene it when we get to there. And one thing led to another, and I got my real estate license, and I just started to stick to the plan. And my plan was to acquire that first rental property, which I did. And,
where was that? Was that in Florida? Or?
That was in Lowell.
Oh, really?
That was in Lowell. It was in Back Central. I paid $65,000 for it, and I got that under my belt. And then I was like, let me see if I can get another one. And me and my now wife worked towards getting that second one. And then we worked towards getting the third one. And then the market really opened up to flipping. I got introduced to a lot of hard money lenders, private lenders. Had about 5 or 6 guys that would lend me money at that point, and they opened tons of doors. I mean, they really shaped the life I have now. They really helped me. They believed in me. They saw my work ethic, and they opened a lot of doors for me. I have a lot of good guys that still lend money today that I can introduce people to.
So you were a real estate agent, and then that's kind of how you built it up. Now you're just purely real.
I was a real estate agent, and then I always liked the mortgage industry, so I ended up becoming a licensed mortgage broker, and having both of those licenses was awesome because I really could understand the financing behind buying a house. I could sell you the house, and I've always been in the construction world. So then I applied and went and got my general contractor's license. So then I had all the licenses.
All the pieces.
So it was like I can talk the real estate side of business. I can sell. I can list. I can tell you about getting a mortgage. I can direct you, talk rates, talk payments. I can talk that side of the game, and then I can go look at an older house and tell you basically what it's going to cost to fix it. So again, I've spoken upon this with young boys and girls. Like, guys should try to get all these licenses. I'm going to tell my kids to get all these licenses. They're awesome licenses to have. You can always make money with them, and you can just be so versed and so knowledgeable in the whole real estate industry, not just a salesperson. You can talk finance, you can talk construction, and you can just, if you have all the tools, you can go to war.
So the first one you got was a duplex. Did you live there?
No, I bought that. I bought that, and I had it straight as an investment. I was still living in an apartment at that point. I bought it and I renovated it, and
you still have it today, right?
I sold that one,
you did?
actually. Yeah, the second one I bought, I still have today. I paid $130,000 for the second house, and it's a house I still have today. I love it. It's through the real estate journey, you fall in love with these houses because they've been with you along the way and they've been good to you. So I still have a lot of the houses I bought years ago. I did sell off a few that I wish I had kept, but at different times you have to make different moves to get from point A to point B. So again, you got to do what you got to do at different times.
Yeah. So what do you feel like is the biggest thing that you've learned? So how many units do you have right now?
I have 35 units right now. Units. I have another 36 in development right now as we speak. So that will get me up to about 61 units. And then I have a solid 50 to 75 more units in pre-development stages. So nice. I'm hoping to land around 100 units by next Christmas.
Nice. So what do you think's been the biggest thing, mindset-wise, the biggest thing you've learned to go from that first, what was your mindset when you got that first one to now?
Yeah, my mindset was always like I knew it was a marathon. I knew it was going to take time, and I knew I just had to be patient. So that's just something you really have to learn in the real estate
Mm-hmm.
business. Like with time, it's going to treat you really good. And I know that first house, you may get it, and you may think like, "Wow, this isn't that great." But trust me, even one or two houses. Fast forward 10, 15 years, they're going to be so
Mm-hmm.
powerful. You're going to be so happy you bought those houses. They're going to be such great investments for people, and I just strongly advise you to buy them and just hold them.
Mm-hmm.
Keep working on them, put some money into them, help them appreciate. The rents are crazy right now, so the cash flow should be good, and eventually at some point, as you pay your debt down, the cash
Mm-hmm.
flow is going to be insane.
Yeah.
So you just got to stay the course. Maybe treat it as a side business. If you
Mm-hmm.
have your 9 to 5 job, continue working in your 9 to 5 job and start to develop an investment, real estate
Mm-hmm.
investments. People are going to invest in 401ks or the stock market. I would say don't do either. I would just invest in houses.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be the best bet.
Yeah. And why do you think that is? So like, why do most people stay away from real estate when it's pretty common knowledge that it's one of the best investments?
I mean, I think they stay away from it because they hear the horror stories of tenants and
Mm-hmm.
people wrecking houses and all that. And I get that. But if you run your business like we run our
Mm-hmm.
business, I mean, we vet the tenants that go in our houses. We have a
Mm-hmm.
great group of tenants right now. My wife does a phenomenal job at
Mm-hmm.
placing people in our home. So that comes with experience.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have that experience when I started. I really would let anybody move in my houses.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Do you have any horror stories from
yeah,
that?
I have a few different horror stories. Again, I didn't have a great vetting process, so I would let people like move in on their word.
Yeah.
From where we're here in Lowell, like people like your word.
Yeah.
If you're a man of your word, and you're hoping somebody else is a man of their
Yeah.
word, and I was kind of on that line for a
Yeah.
while. So my wife took over, and for a while it worked out pretty good for me. I'm a pretty good judge of character,
Mm-hmm.
so it did work out good. But had a couple horror shows where we had a couple of bad evictions, but
Mm-hmm.
it comes with the
Yeah.
territory. It is what it is. We haven't had any bad evictions
Mm-hmm.
since my wife took over. We've been running very, very smooth. Our real estate rental business runs like a clock.
Mm-hmm. When did you meet your wife?
I met my wife. We got married 14 years ago, so
Mm-hmm.
we've been together like about 16 years at this
Nice.
point. So she took over she retired from her job in Boston about 7 years ago, and she took over the
Mm-hmm.
rental business. She became a licensed real estate broker, and
Mm-hmm.
she manages it all. She does a
Nice.
great job. I like to be out in the field. She likes to manage the back
Mm-hmm.
end. She does really good at what she does. I do really good at what I do, and as a team, we do really good.
Mm-hmm. So do you also have a construction company too?
I have my general contractor's
Mm-hmm.
license, and I'm licensed to build homes, buildings, but at this point, I'm only working for myself. So
Mm-hmm.
I used to have a crew guys that work for
Yep.
me, but now I just operate with all subcontractors. I have one full-time employee that runs all our rental business,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
manages it with
Mm-hmm.
me, alongside me, and he's excellent. He's a great part of our team, and besides that, we subcontract everything out. It's much more efficient for me now. It's much more profitable, and it's just way easier.
Mm-hmm. I feel like one thing a lot of people do in any industry, but like they try to do everything themselves, right? They take that mindset of like, oh, I just want to do it myself, just lock in, like lone wolf. How do you feel like, or how important do you feel like having that team around you is, and just having people that are smarter than you complement your kind of style? And
Yeah, it's life changing. I mean, I had that lone wolf mentality for a lot of years, probably the first 10 years in the real estate business. I mean, I wanted to do everything in-house. I had in-house painters, finished carpenters. My whole crew was like in-house, and I thought it was more effective, and I thought it was better financially. And my accountant really opened me up to the fact that it isn't. He's like, you'd be better to sub the painters in and sub the finished guys in when you need them, and maybe just keep one guy or two guys as figures for your business. So he really opened my mind up about 5 or 6 years ago to go down that road. He manages a lot of small business guys like myself, and he was a huge part of my success breaking through like the last 5 years. And in my partner, his mindset, he's a super smart guy. He ran a super successful flooring company, multi-million-dollar business, and just being surrounded by smarter people than myself, it's key. I stress it to everybody. Get your circle, get a tight circle, get smart people in your circle, and you're going to be super successful. I mean, I often sometimes think about like some of the people that call me throughout the day, like my circle of friends, and they're all self-made millionaires. They're all self-made. None of them are college educated, really, maybe one or two, and 3 or 4 aren't. And it's just I'm around a lot of smart people, and it's awesome. I mean, you surround yourself with smart people, like you're just gonna do good things.
How do you think people get around smart people? So I've heard a lot of people are like, oh, networking is so important, but like one thing that I believe in is like you got to become somebody first that deserves to be around those type of people. So like for me, I've always been like, okay, network, but like I got to be somebody myself. Like say for Jimmy example, like he kind of took me in, kind of started mentoring me, but I was reading every single day. Like he could kind of see that I was hungry. So he's like, all right, I'll kind of start to educate him, take him in. But like there's kids who don't do anything on their own. They're just like, I want to get around these people. And it's like, you can, but like, you're not going to be able to stick around because those people like you, like if I was a bum, you'd just push me to the side. You know what I mean? So you got to be somebody yourself too, right?
100%. I mean, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, I want to help people that want to help themselves. I love I love the young entrepreneurs today. I mean, I think you guys are so smart. I know a lot of young kids in their 20s that are making a lot of money, that are super, super successful. And I like to surround myself with them too, because they just open my eyes up to different things. And then I know a lot of older guys that have been super successful. So I have my older core group of friends that are super successful. But back to your question, I mean, you have to bring value. You have to show that older mentor that like, hey, I'm willing to learn from you. I'm willing to do what you're telling me to do, and implement some of the things that Jim's showing you to do. And he sees that in you. I see it in you. And other people that want to learn from me, like I'm willing to teach you, but like you got to be willing to want to learn.
Exactly,
and, nothing's going to come for free in this world. So it's like, you're not just going to get handed a business on a silver platter. Like I can tell you what I'm doing, but you got to put the work in at the end of the day.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I feel like there's just so many kids that like, at least my age, where it's like, oh, I just want to network and get around these people. And they just don't understand that you got to bring value. Like my biggest thing just with like anyone like you or Jim or like older people is like, I want to provide value to them because they're providing knowledge and insight to me. Yeah. Like I got to bring something back. Like even if it's just helping them out any way that I can, or literally just any way that I can at least provide value in some way, and just show that like I'm willing to learn. Because again, like I was saying, like most people just don't. They want to take without giving. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean when I was trying to get connected with the hard lenders, I guess what I was showing them that I was a hard worker. Like one gentleman that was lending me money, I would show up in jeans with paint, and he would be looking at me like I was almost crazy, and he'd be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, we're ripping this house apart." And he was like, after seeing me a few times like that, he was like, all right, this kid's gonna bring me value, because if I lend him money, I know he's gonna work hard. So I just brought my work ethic to that guy. So I showed that guy I had an extreme work ethic, and in return, he was like, I have a lot of money to lend you. So whenever you need money, call me. So I was like, all right, I need $250,000 to buy this house. He gave me it. And I was like, wow, this is cool. But he saw how hard I worked. So then when he gave me the opportunity, I banged the house out, paid him back. And he was like, let's do it again. Then I was like, hey, can I do 2 at a time? And he was like, yeah, I don't care. So then we did 2. And then at some points I had 5, 6 flips going at a time, and I owed him a couple $1 million, and I didn't really even have any money at the time. He had the money, but I had the work ethic. So I just showed him that I would work. So he saw the value in my work ethic. I saw the value in him having the liquidity to be able to lend me money to do my projects. And we became a great team for a long stretch.
Nice. So getting on that point of like you not having the money but getting into real estate, I feel like a lot of people, the reason why they feel like they need shit tons of money, they feel like they need hundreds of thousands of dollars to get into real estate. I think number one, it's just an easy excuse. We're like, oh, I don't have the money, I can't get into real estate. So kind of talk about like, and how people can get into real estate even if they don't have a ton of money.
Yeah, you have to get creative. There's so much money out there. Money, like me and my partner always say, is very easy to get. There's a lot of money floating around out in this world, guys. So you can really go out and take and get as much as you really want to get. So you got to get creative. You got to partner up sometimes to ladder up. And there's a lot of private money out there. You can Google private lenders, Boston, hard money, Boston. They're all over the place. Do you need a little bit of capital? Of course. But I would say you can get started with as little as $10,000, $15,000, which to some is a lot of money. And I get that. It is a lot of money. But if you could save up $10,000-$15,000 and you had good credit and you had a stable job, you can call these private money guys, and they will give you an opportunity, you know. So or partner up with two guys and, you know, put 30 grand and then go to the private money guys. So you have to get creative. You got to think you can do it. I mean, we're doing big projects right now that are upwards of $10 million, and it's like, I went from buying that initial house at $65,000. I never thought I'd be building a $10 million building. Now, in my crazy mind, I think I can build $100 million buildings, and I think at some point we will. It's just you have to develop the mindset that you can do it, and you got to get a relentless pursuit to do it.
Yeah. What do you think's been your best? So you've done obviously some flips, you've done some holds. What's your best flip been?
My best flip. My best flip was probably a couple summers ago. I bought a condo in Lowell, and I flipped it in like 4 weeks, and I think I made about $150,000. And it was just I didn't even want to go look at it. That was the craziest part. I'm like, there's no money in a flip on a second floor in South Lowell. And next thing you know, I opened the door and I was like, wow, this is an awesome property. And I quickly put it in contract. We quickly closed. We renovated it super, super fast. It came out incredible. I didn't even want to sell it at the end because I was like, I loved it. I wanted to keep it. And but I sold it and I did really, really well. It was a great flip. But I also I remember one summer I put like 3 houses in contracts, like under agreement, $1,000, $1,000. I sold those contracts to you, Tommy, and John, and I made like $50,000.
So is that technically like a wholesale?
Yeah, it was like a wholesale.
Yeah.
I just sold the contracts, and that was an awesome month. I made like $150,000 one month, crazy. And I tied up. I think I had a total of like $11,000 tied up at that point. So that's something people can do with no money. You need $1,000 or $500. Go tie up a property and then just bring it to somebody that's in the real estate game and say, hey, I got this property. This guy wanted to sell. I got it under agreement for $250K. Will you give me $270K? Yeah, I'll give you $270, and you're gonna make $20K. Yeah. So it's just another game that people aren't really aware of. That something else I'll teach you in my course.
Yeah, because you teach people how to do that. Obviously.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
There's just there's a lot of ways to make money in real estate. I mean, as I've developed and got older, I just feel like looking back. Although I flipped a lot of houses and I did really, really good, and it allowed me to like buy my own house, buy my vacation home, put a beautiful pool in, take my families on trips, and send my kids to private school. Those are all things that have come with flipping properties. But at the end of the day, if you can really hold properties, they far outweigh the flips. And I did very well flipping, but at this point, I just want to buy and hold. And if you can get to that point where you can just buy and hold, that's a great point to get to, because they're just going to pay off incredibly through the years.
So what are your goals now at this point? Like most people would say, oh, if I was at that point, I would just sit back and relax. Like I made it. So like, what are your goals right now? Like, okay, you're here. Where are you trying to get to in say maybe a year, 5 years, 10 years?
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up, because a couple of years ago, I felt like I had got to a really good point where my rental business cash flow is really good, allows my family to pay all our bills, and I could just do 1 or 2 flips a year and live a pretty comfortable life, like working very much part-time at like 44 years old. And I was like, wow, I made it. Like I don't really have to work much. I'm like almost semi-retired. I'm like in my mid-40s. And for like a year, I just kind of relaxed, and I did a couple of flips that year, and didn't kill myself, and I was kind of enjoying it. And then I partnered up with Jim, and he was just like, "Man, you like have like a a great talent and you haven't even scratched the surface of where you can go. Like, let's go, let's get let's get rolling. And I was just like, you know what, he's right. Like, we got to get rolling. And now we're just, you know, we got like 100 plus units in development, pre-development stages. And now I kind of got the fire back in me, and I feel like sky's the limit now. Like, you know, it's kind of how many units do we want to get at this point? Do we want 200? Do we want 300? Do we want 500? Do we want 1,000? Because I feel like together we can really get to any number we want at this point, and depending on how far we want to work. So.
What do you think? I like talking about like money and people's different perspective on it. Where do you think money has taken you from like a mindset of like, was there a certain number when you got past it you were like, money didn't matter as much, or you looked at money differently? Because I feel like a lot of people, say people who work 9 to 5, like they look at money in terms of like scarcity, like, oh, I need money, I don't have enough of it. Do you feel like you were ever like that? And then when you got to a certain point where you kind of, because like you were saying, like money's everywhere. I very much agree, but I feel like maybe when I was younger, I was just like, a lot of people come from the perspective of I need it, I need more, they don't have enough of it, versus like you're sitting here and saying money's everywhere, which it is. But like, do you think you ever had like a paradigm shift in terms of money? And do you feel like that paradigm shift has helped you get to this point?
Yeah, I just feel like there's a lot of opportunity out there. So I feel like, you know, people sometimes get stuck into those 9 to 5 jobs and they're waiting for those paychecks. And I get it. I've been in that job, and, you know, I've needed that paycheck. And, you know, even today, like, you know, we need to make money. Like we have money problems where we're shelling out tons of money to contractors and developments and purchase and sales and architects and engineers. So, yeah, I mean, I still need to make money to keep growing my businesses. Yeah. If I stopped doing what I was doing, yeah, I could survive off these rentals and live a comfortable life. But yeah, I mean, it's tough. You just got to keep going. I mean, you got to keep earning and keep growing. And I don't know when enough's enough. I think you get to a point once you get successful that maybe it's not all about the money. It's just more about going through it's more of a sport, I guess. Like we enjoy what we do. Yeah. We have a great team of people, and we have fun every day. So we kind of look forward to Mondays.
Yeah,
which,
just working.
Yeah, we look forward to working. And at this point, I just want to build a massive base for my kids. It's like really all I think about is just building an incredible foundation for my kids. Hopefully have a massive business in 10 years where they can come right into the business, get a good position within our company, make great money where they're happy, and where they can take over and scale the business as big as they want to. So my main focus now is just, again, just stabilizing my kids. I'm a pretty simple guy. I don't need a ton of money to live the life I want to live, but I'd love to build a massive business for them.
When you first started making money, I think I've heard you had a couple like nice cars and stuff. Like, yeah. Do you feel like you got caught up in money when you first got the money? And then do you feel like now you're like, because I feel like some people when they get money, like you see a lot of like young guys make money and they want to prove to everyone that they have money. Do you feel like you ever kind of went through that?
Yeah, I mean, I think in your young 20s, that's something that, you know, maybe you're buying cars you want to flash a car for the wrong reason or something like that. But no, I love cars. I mean, my good friends both of my good friends are in the car industry. Like, we're just passionate about cars. We love cars. And if I buy a nice car today, it's not to impress anybody. I'm 46 now. So if I buy a nice Mercedes or a nice SUV or whatever, it's because I just want it. I like it. I enjoy it. I love cars. It's a passion of mine.
What's your favorite
I love
car?
Boats. I love Mercedes. I think Mercedes puts the best car out on the road. They're awesome. I mean, Ferraris and Lamborghinis are pretty looking cars, but they don't drive as great as like a Mercedes. Like, give me a nice Mercedes over anything.
Yeah. That's fair. I like Mercedes. I'm not a big fan of like BMWs. I want an AMG. That's one of my goal cars. So
yeah. You know, I'd love to have a Rolls Royce, a nice Mercedes, and a nice Lamborghini someday. So those are like maybe like 4 or 5 year goals, you know, that I kind of think about. I love boating. I started a boat like the last few years in Florida. My family loves it. We just went out on New Year's with Jim's family. We rented like a 50-foot yacht, and it was incredible. We had maybe one of the best days I've ever had in my life on the boat that day. I know Jim's family had a great time. My kids and wife had a great time. So I love just being out in the sun, being on the water. There's really nothing beats it. It definitely beats cars.
You gonna try to buy a boat?
Yeah, we're getting a boat. Yeah.
When
we're going to get a big boat.
When?
We'll have to talk to Jim about that. He's going to be the catalyst behind that. But yeah, I see a big boat.
You guys going to buy it together?
Yeah, we're going to buy it as like a business venture.
Nice.
We're going to broker it.
Nice.
We have a broker in Florida that will broker it, and hopefully maybe you guys can help us do some content creating for that boat.
That'd be fun.
Go down to Florida with us. We'll do some shoots down there and have some fun, and make a sick page to broker that boat. But yeah, we're probably looking at a boat like maybe in the $3 million range, maybe 50, 60, 70 foot, somewhere in that range, and hopefully be able to like broker that boat, take people to the Bahamas and just all over Florida. So,
what about a jet? You want a jet too?
Yeah, we talk about it, but that's just like a crazy goal, dream. But we know people that own them personally, that own planes. They probably thought it was a dream at 1.2, and now they actually own the plane. So I don't know. Like I say, anything's doable,
anything's possible.
Anything's possible. We're just here for a quick spin on this earth.
Exactly.
So you might as well dream and try to attain as much as you can.
Yeah. How has because I've heard a lot of people talk about like when they have kids, like it changes their perspective, their motivation. Do you feel like when you had kids, like that kind of jumpstarted everything for you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been super motivated my whole life since I was a little kid. I was always working. I was motivated athlete. But when my kids came, it just gave me like a whole new drive, more. I don't even know how to explain it. Like I have a purpose now. You know what I mean? I have kids to take care of. Like this isn't a game anymore. This is serious. We have to take care of the kids. So it just when you have kids, it just gives you a whole different perspective on life. You know, you got somebody to take care of, so it just gives you a whole different. Maybe you move a little bit differently. You maybe think strategically a little bit more. Maybe not take as much risk. Although we're taking a lot of risks now, but we feel very calculated in our risks now, and we're more educated. We got more experience. So I mean, kids definitely gonna help shape your life. It's the best thing that will ever happen to you.
Interesting. How has you been in the gym a lot lately? I see you there sometimes. How has that been?
Yeah, the gym's been great. I'm loving the gym. I've always been going to the gym too since a young kid as an athlete. I mean, we've been going to the YMCA since the early 90s, playing basketball, lifting weights. I've always been like pretty much in the gym. Maybe a couple, 3 months you're out of the gym, but I've been in the gym pretty much for like 25 years. I've always loved going to the gym. Work and life sometimes have gotten in the way of the gym, and work really like maybe got in the way like the last 5 years. I was just like working so much. I wasn't in the gym as much. I just kind of let myself go, and then last summer I was just like, I'm all done. I'm gonna get in the best shape I ever got in my life. At 46, I'm 46. I'm a few months off probably being in the best shape I've ever been in my entire life, and I'm 46. So it's just a mindset. Like it's non-negotiable. I'm going to the gym every day now, whether it's early in the morning. If I got to go after dinner, I'm getting to the gym. I'm eating clean. I feel great. Just walk. I could just tell people just getting on that treadmill and doing 30, 45 minutes, 60 minutes. It's just so powerful. It's incredible what it will do to you, do to your mind. Eating clean. It's just until you're doing it, you really don't understand how powerful it is. And I hope I can help. I hope I inspire some people to just get in the gym and start eating good.
Yeah, because I feel like people, once they hit like 30, 40, they just start making excuses. Like you have multiple businesses, you have kids, you have a family. Like you can make all the excuses other people make, but you're there every day no matter what.
Yeah, and I made all those excuses for like a year. And my wife, she works out every day. I mean, having her in the house, like I shouldn't even have it as an excuse. She works out every day. She eats clean every day. It's her lifestyle. So, now having her, it's kind of easy for me. Like I don't think I'll ever go back. I know she won't. She's going to work out forever. So she leads by a good example, and now it's good because now like I'm getting back in shape. My kids see it. They know I go to the gym at 4:35 in the morning. So that's just showing them good discipline. They see that we eat really good in the house, so that's just showing the kids good discipline. So it's huge. I wish and hope that I can help a few people. I know I have. I've got a lot of. I get a lot of messages saying, "Hey, you got me back in the gym. Hey, I'm eating better. Keep posting. You're inspiring me." And it's like, great. I've had a lot of people inspire me. I didn't get back in the gym. Just, I see people going to the gym, and I'm like, man, these people are in the gym every day. Like, they don't make excuses. It's like, you have the time. You just gotta pencil it in your day.
How has been jumping on social media and getting active with that? Do you feel like it's been a tough process? Do you like it? Because obviously you're getting that response back where you're able to help people and motivate people, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I mean, I enjoy it. I'm a people person. My wife will tell you the same. I love talking to people. So I love interacting with people on social media. I hope I can inspire people in the real estate business. I'm no fitness coach, but, I have been going to the gym. A lot of my friends are fitness coaches and that are in really good shape. So, I mean, I hope I can inspire a few people to get in the gym, and if I can change some people's mindset, I hope to do that. And that's just what I'm doing with my posts, just trying to help some people, really, at the end of the day. And maybe it helps me too. It keeps me it
keeps you in check.
Keeps me in check. Like, I got to get to the gym today, because people will think, this kid's slacking. He doesn't really go to the gym. I do, and I hope to help a couple people get motivated.
And you're coaching people now too with real estate?
Yeah, I'm coaching people with real estate. Have a few people that signed up on my program. I think I'm going to bring them tremendous value. I feel like I've already brought a lot of people a lot of tremendous value. I've coached a lot of my friends. I have 5 or 6 friends that I've made multimillionaires through my coaching. You can read a couple of them on my website, that some testimonials, and there's a blueprint to get going in the real estate business. And whether it's me or another mentor, like I just advise people to find that real estate mentor. They can really help you. Find that broker, find that real estate agent that's going to push leads to you, that's going to stay active with you. There's some really good real estate agents out there. My wife's a phenomenal broker. She's on the ball. There are some really good ones out there, and network in that industry. And I do too. I network. I got a vast network in the real estate industry throughout Boston, and I get a lot of leads. It's how I find my projects. So networking's key. Stay active on social media. It's powerful. It's free. I mean, as a young kid, I was going door to door putting flyers and to try to get business. Now you can click a post in 2 seconds and get a message out to the whole world. It's super powerful. I know a little older people like me probably feel like it's a little like off limits. It's a kid's game. Well, unfortunately, it isn't a kid's game. It's for everybody. Use it, and it will help you.
Yeah, that's good. So people can find you. What's your Instagram name?
My Instagram's ryanrourke.co.
And then what's your website?
My website is Rourke Consulting, www.rourkeconsulting.com.
Awesome. Cool. So if people are interested, reach out to him. He's got a little coaching program, so he'll definitely help you with the real estate. He's already helped me. Just listen to him, learning from him. So yeah, it was good. Good
awesome,
conversation.
Man. Yeah, it was great. Thanks for having me. Hopefully we can do it again.
Absolutely.